Hey guys, what is going on? Today we are heading to Royal Quest for the New Japan show at the Copper Box London. However, we're travelling all the way from Plymouth. We've hit a lot of traffic, so we're quite far behind now. We're still on schedule to get there in a couple of hours, about an hour before the show. I wanted to get there a little bit earlier, but never mind. We had to stop off, get some food, because we are hungover as fuck, because yesterday was Mason's wedding as well. But of course, I am here with the lads. We have driver Nev, who's actually driving my car. How you doing, Nev?
Hey, brother.
Hey. And behind me is MAFF. What side's going to pick us out? That way? No? That one? So, we're on our way. You guys have sent in a couple of questions, a couple of would you rathers maybe, or a snog, marry, avoid. Who doesn't love a good snog, marry, avoid? So we're going to answer them. Should be fun. Should be good. Just like the Fight Forever vlog, so hopefully it's as good as that one. Thank you very much and enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the king. He's the wise owl of professional wrestling. He smells better than Dude Love with Sex Panther on. He's the... All hail. He's the king of fantasy booking. The king took his head. He is Omega Luke. King is born. And you're listening to the Omega Luke. On your knees for the king.
So the first snog, marry, avoid just came in. It's an absolutely outrageous one. Would we rather snog, marry, avoid NWA Flair, WCW Flair, or WWE Flair? That's Ric Flair, just in case you didn't know.
Not Charlotte.
Not Charlotte. I would snog NWA, I would marry WCW, and I would avoid WWE Flair because he's old as fuck. What do you think, Nev?
I would marry WCW Flair. Well, for me, that's prime. I'll probably avoid NWA Flair because he'd be cheating on me all the time with those lovely bitches. What was it? What snog?
Yeah.
I'd snog WWE Flair.
Oh, it's like 60.
That's alright. Gil faction.
I would snog WCW Flair, marry NWA Flair, and avoid WWE Flair.
Woo!
I have to agree with Robbo here, or Omega Luke, shall I say. He's far too old for my liking.
That's my kayfabe name.
I thought Charlotte Flair.
I didn't use your first name.
I thought Charlotte Flair, NWA could have been Naughty Wieners Association.
How long were you thinking of that before you
I
said
wanted
it?
to say at the start, but someone cut me off.
She has had some dick in the time.
She has.
Good old Bran.
She loves that Bran penis.
How much do you love Bran, by the way?
Oh, fucking love Bran. What a guy.
So the next one's come in. It is from Robert El Luca Roberto of the Fantasy Booking League, obviously, one of our best friends, and he has come out with an absolute banger of a snog, marry, avoid, and it was Sable in her prime in the 90s. I do love a bit of Sable from the 90s. Tori Wilson or Stacy Keibler. Math, where would you like to go with this? Cut to you.
I would have to avoid Sable.
What?
I would snog Tori Wilson.
Oh yeah.
And I'd have to marry Stacy Keibler, because you gotta get up on that ass.
Come on,
Who
then.
did you say you'd marry?
Stacy.
I would marry Tori Wilson. I'd kiss Stacy Keibler, and I'd avoid Sable. And I know it was in her prime, because if it was now, no one wants to go there. Brock Lesnar's been through it. It'd be like a car crash. It'd be like someone kicking a cottage pie.
Like a drop lasagna. Okay, so the next question comes in from Josh Robinson. No relation, but he is Australian. Maybe he's an Australian ancestor of mine. I don't know. He's come in with another snog, marry, avoid of Linda McMahon, Betty White, and Susan Boyle. I would probably marry Linda McMahon. She's got the money, she's got the business, and she's quite good getting out of wheelchairs and shit like that, isn't she, Amy?
Oh, she knows how to kick a
She can fight off the competition, she can kick a dick, that is true. I would have to then snog Betty White, because that is something that you could right off your bucket list, so that's on most people's bucket list, and I would avoid the fuck out of Susan Boyle. So the next question comes in from Royally Rumbled, and they have asked, what is my favourite fantasy booking match from the Fantasy Booking League all the way back when, which I started over a year ago now. That time has flown by. And they have said that they're not looking to be fluffed up or anything, which is a nice term, I must admit. And they genuinely like a couple of Mason and Nevs. I personally quite enjoyed the final. The culmination of it all, the Andrade Cianalmas, I thought both guys did really well. Mason and Royally Rumbled, and obviously Royally Rumbled, who did win and are still the champions at this time. And their King of the Ring style booking was really clever for me, because it didn't involve any titles or anything like that, but it still made him really special. And now he's actually in a King of the Ring as we speak, so that's pretty cool as well. Math, MAFF, do you have one which is not your own, or is it you just gonna say your own?
My own. I would say probably one of my favourites was probably my Bobby Roode one. I love the faction with the Revival and Paul Heyman. Who doesn't love a good faction?
That was quite good. I liked your Elias one though.
Yeah, I did like that as well. I'm just really good at fantasy booking.
Didn't win it though.
True.
So the next one is another Snog, Marry, Avoid. It's come in from Ren, who's actually going to go to the show. Hopefully I'll be able to see her at some point. And she's given a Snog, Marry, Avoid of Minoru Suzuki, the Funky Weapon Taguchi, and Taichi. So I would avoid Taichi, I would snog Suzuki, and I'd 100% marry Taguchi. Math?
I would marry Taguchi, it just seems like a right laugh. Plus one ass.
Top ass.
I would snog Taichi, sorry. And I would have to avoid Suzuki because he scares the fuck out of me.
I'd like to snog Mio Abe a little bit more than Taichi, but never mind. Nev?
Forget about that. News just in. Jerry Lawler's been attacked by Brock Lesnar, and he's suffering from bruised ribs and, with all due respect, anal bleeding.
What?
Well, with all due respect, he's also suffering from anal bleeding.
What?
So Max has come in with a question asking us if we could punch one of the members of this card today for Royal Quest without any consequences, who would it be?
I would punch Jay White, because he is not the leader of Bullet Club. Tamatonga is in my eyes.
Oh. MAFF. What do you think of this situation?
I would have to say Taichi. It really annoys me that he doesn't even sing his theme song.
He mimes. What's wrong with that? So Max has also gone on to ask us, because we are all hangovers, all have hangovers.
We are all hangovers.
Max has also gone on to ask us, because we all have hangovers, other than Math, he doesn't drink. However, he was up late last night because someone got laid. Am I right? Am I right? He did get laid. It's true.
She was an old flame of his.
She was actually an old flame of mine. So he actually asked us who would we like.
Fucking some noise, that.
Who would we like to go back on the sesh with right now? Wrestlers. Who would we take on the sesh with? The wrestlers. Nev, I'm going to let you go while I think of mine.
We mentioned him earlier. I would straight up get back on the sesh with the King of Evil, Bram, because that guy loves a beer, and I know that he would pull me through this hangover, and we get right back on it. Maybe if you come down to Plymouth, we could go into Pop World. It's a fine establishment.
It is not.
It's a real shithole.
I think it's a tough one, but I quite like the idea of hanging around with Jericho for a bit.
Oh yeah.
I think that would be pretty.
Oh,
cool.
yeah! A little bit of the bubbly.
Math, if you had to break your 6 years of soberness to drink with one wrestler, who would it be?
CM Punk. Straight Edge Society forever.
Oh, that's such a loser thing to say. Oh, fucking hell.
Maybe you could braid each other's vaginas after.
I'm so sorry about our friend Meth. He's a loser.
Oh, no, he's not.
The next question comes in from Mike Arendt. He asks us what wrestler we'd like to hang around with for the day, and Nev cannot use The Rock, which is obviously a bit of a downfall for you,
Yeah.
Nev, Mr. Michael Nevin. Who would you rather pick instead then?
I'm going to have to go with Flex Kavana.
What?
No, I'm only joking. That's cheating. I really struggle with this because there's so many, but I have to do a joint one, and that's Roman Reigns, because he's the fucking big dog and I absolutely love him, and Triple H, because why would you not want to spend the day with Triple H?
Yeah, this is a tough one, but I'll have to go with Johnny Gargano. What are you guys laughing about?
Yeah, this is a tough one.
So the next one comes in from Aussilution Blogs and Podcasts, and they have done a snog, marry, avoid of Trish, Lita, and Victoria. So for me, obviously, I think I would avoid Victoria. I think we're all men here. We can all understand that Victoria is not as attractive as Trish or Lita. I would probably snog Lita, or have sex with her on Monday Night Raw, and then I would marry Trish because she's looking banging now, isn't she? I mean,
She's always been banging.
oh damn!
I mean, mine's the exact same. I don't even know who the fuck Victoria is.
You don't know who Victoria is?
Nah, I do, but she's just pointless. Lita, yeah, I'd have to kiss Lita. She's unbelievable. And I would marry Trish. And a little rock cry guy fact. She was my first Spank the Monkey. Satisfaction guaranteed.
Were you stratified?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Mainly when she kissed The Rock, I was just, Jizz City.
Were you wagging over The Rock or Trish?
I'm not gay for The Rock. I just love him like a family member. What? I just made this story so much better. I love it when my family members kiss hot girls.
Well, I feel like I can't follow that, but I will agree with the lads there. I would definitely marry Trish. She just gets better with age. Avoid Victoria and definitely snog Lita.
Definitely snog.
Okay, so the next one has just come in, and it is from one of Nev's best friends, Ben Fallows, and he has asked, how the fuck have we got Nev driving? Nev?
Well, basically, long story short, is that my wife uses our car.
My wife, Steve.
My wife, Steve.
Kevin? Steve? Tell me the last thing you stuck your finger in. My wife, Steve.
She uses our car for her business. So I nearly got out of driving today, but Luke had the wonderful idea of getting me insured on his car for a day. So, Fallows, when we go up to Liverpool, just insure me on your car. Nah, I'm only joking. You know I'm a terrible driver.
Okay, so the next question comes in from Zachary Shiloh, who is a big Brainbuster fan, so thank you very much for all your support, Zach. He actually asked myself what is the best thing about a two-man podcast and what is the worst. So obviously I've gone from a one-man to a two-man, so I can sort of compare both, and I think the best is that you really have someone to bounce off when you're doing a two-man, and I think me and Wilf do that really well. We bounce off each other, we have good laughs while we're doing it. I've actually enjoyed recording a lot more than what I used to doing it by myself, and I always found that whenever Math used to come on for NXT reviews and that sort of stuff, I really did enjoy that because the back and forth is a lot better when you have a two-man. The worst thing, trying to schedule it, because obviously Wilf is in America, he is in Texas, with different time zones, work patterns. We sort of have to we have to start recording around about 11:30 for him to be home, and 11:30 for me at night I can't do when I have work the next day at 8 o'clock. So that is probably the worst thing that we are sort of struggling with, but we're getting by as it is, and so far so good. But thank you very much for the question. guys would stop from just doing this.
You keep on shining, you keep on shining. Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
We also have another question from Zach, and that is, what is the match we are looking forward to the most at Royal Quest? And obviously the boys can join in with this one as well. I'm going to have to say, I mean, we seen Okada last year against Zack Sabre Jr., so I'm obviously looking forward to it, but I think the match I'm looking forward to the most is Guerrillas of Destiny versus Aussie Open. What about you, Michael Nevin?
It's my first New Japan show, and Tama Tonga is my favourite, so I'm going with that same match. I'm also really excited to see Will Ospreay as well, and the other names to mention, but those two definitely stand out. But Tama Tonga and Guerrillas of Destiny all day.
I think I'm going to have to complete the hat trick here and agree with the lads again. I think Guerrillas of Destiny are very underrated as a tag team. Obviously, we all hear about like Ray Phoenix and what's his name? Pentagon Jr. And obviously you get like the Young Bucks, Revival as like and Usos and all that. But yeah, Guerrillas of Destiny never really get named as like one of the best tag teams in the world, which is a shame in my opinion. And Aussie Open as well. So that's my pick.
I think as well, the fact that Guerrillas of Destiny and Evil and Sonata are really the only good heavyweight tag teams that New Japan have now. It's quite worrying, so they need to be looking after people like Guerrillas of Destiny. They've held the belts for a long time. I can't see them losing it today because Aussie Open aren't exactly a New Japan tag team. However, if they did, it would be great for the World Tag League coming up, because I think Aussie Open might be a contender to be part of that, because of the fact that there's hardly any tag teams left. So that may be the case from that. But yeah, gonna be a good match, I reckon. Okay, so the next question comes in is from Josh Robinson again, and he has said, what is our go-to movie for a night in? And I thought we'd expand a little bit more. We're gonna go for a movie and television series for a good old classic night in. I'm gonna go with a Back to the Future as a film. It's one of my favourites. I could have gone for the classic Marvel films, but Back to the Future for me is great, and I do love time travel, which is why. And my TV series for a good night in, I always tend to watch Friends, of course. So that would be mine, and I know that won't be Nev's. So Nev, what is your TV series? What is your movie for us, please?
For movie, same as Robert said, it's easy to go to the Marvel section, but just to be a bit different, and I'm gonna go. It's a bit seasonal, but for me, Home Alone. As soon as you put that on, it's just easy watching. It's always hilarious. And it's easily one of my favourite movies of all time. TV series, again, very different. Unfortunately, I've never seen Friends, so don't judge me. And for people that are outside of the UK won't understand this, but it's Only Fools and Horses. Absolutely favourite TV series of all time. Can't be beat in my eyes. So
That is a classic. Matthew, your opinions, please.
For TV series, I'll have to agree with Robert. I'll have to go with Friends. It's just such an easy watch. For film, I'm gonna go with Coach Carter because it's just one of my favourite films. So obviously, if you haven't seen Coach Carter, it's absolutely brilliant. I recommend it very highly.
Okay, so we are now still hitting a lot of traffic. We've gone through all of the questions. We've still got about an hour to go, and we're barely going to scrape the time to actually get there on time, unfortunately, to meet a lot of you guys, which is unfortunate even more. But we're going to go through some weird would you rather questions, and I can only see this going uphill if you ask me. So the first one is, would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
I gotta be honest with you, I would fight 100 duck-sized horses because I'll kick them all in the fucking head and break their necks.
Yeah, but then if it was just one you had to take down.
Yeah, but horses are pretty big and ducks are evil bastards with beaks.
They're actually called bills.
I would fight one horse-sized duck, you know.
Math's like, I'll fight all 101 of them. Alright, Marty.
Fight them all.
Am I right? Am I right?
We'll fight them on the beaches.
Winston.
Stuff him up their ass.
I'd already pressed record.
Oh shit, you're actually recording.
So, is this correct? Joey Seven and Grayson Reeves of Reach Wrestling have challenged us in some sort of way to sign for the Reach Academy, to become professional wrestlers. What do we think about that? I think it'd be quite a good faction.
I think we would.
I've always wanted to, like, try it.
Yeah, I would be, you know, I've never backed down from a challenge, as you know, heavyweight champion of Plymouth.
Maybe you will see an Omega Luke, Nev, Math in a faction. What would our faction name be? I think you guys should let us know what our faction name should be as well, because I'm
Realistic
interested.
names, not
Realistic names, please.
It's London Eye, that. Okay guys, Omega Luke has taken over the graveyard shift, driving us all the way back to Plymouth. Got about 3 hours to go after an unbelievable New Japan show. Got some more questions for us to answer. This one's from Aussie Lucian again, and it is, who would you rather go on a full weekend bender with, and why? And that's between Chris Jericho and David Beckham. So I'm going to let Omega Luke answer this one first.
So I think I would have to go with David Beckham, to be honest, because I'm a Manchester United fan. He is the reason why I support Manchester United. I think as much as Chris Jericho will probably have more interesting stories and probably a bit more of a laugh, just the fact that I would be drinking with David Beckham and spending the weekend with him is a pretty big deal, I think, and that is the reason why I'd pick him.
I'm going to go with, which may surprise you as a huge Liverpool fan, I would say David Beckham too. I don't want to know anything about Manchester United because that does not interest me. However, he was our England captain, and I just think doesn't matter who you support, you can't dislike David Beckham. He's a handsome son of a bitch too, and if you see him on his Instagram stories, he goes for some unbelievable dinners, and I like my food, so that would be one hell of a weekend with him drinking some High Club. What about you, MAFF?
I think I agree with both of you actually. I'll have to go with David Beckham as well. Like my brother was a big Man United fan growing up, so yeah, I agree with both of you guys. David Beckham for me.
Okay, another question from Everything Pro Wrestling. Now, we weren't too sure about the interpretation of this question. It says, buy or sell Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart, who would we have or who would we sell? The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, Sonny and Sable. So if we've got this question wrong, we do apologise, but we'll go ahead and answer it anyway. Omega Luke.
So I'm going to have to go with Bret Hart. I'd sell Shawn Michaels. I would buy The Rock. Of course I would, and I think you're also going to say the same. Don't know why I think that though. Confused.
Nothing
But Sonny or Sable is probably the hardest one for me because I have a crush on both. And I'm going to go with Sonny because she hasn't been battered by Brock Lesnar like we spoke about earlier. However, she has been battered by Shawn Michaels and Dolph Ziggler, so that's really cool.
Has she really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Fucking hell, Dolph really wants to be Shawn Michaels, doesn't he?
You have to YouTube it. Honestly, it's so good. She
blew him on the internet.
She did an interview and just told everyone how it happened. She was like, Nick was messaging me after a show.
It's fucking amazing.
Honestly, I swear.
I can't believe how much he wants to be Shawn Michaels. That he's fucking. He probably just was inside of her like, I can still smell Shawn. Sorry, I get too excited. The Rock and Austin. Who would I buy? Who would I sell?
That's a tough one.
That is a real tough one.
You see, The Rock's an old flame of mine.
The Rock is an old flame of mine. I've met him, don't you know? Stone Cold can suck a dick. Sable really grosses me out because there's no one on the planet that should find Brock Lesnar attractive. He is a horrible looking man. It's a bit dark back there.
Yes. I would go with Bret Hart, The Rock, and to be different, I would actually go for Sable, just for wrestling ability over Sonny.
Okay, so it's time for the wrestling name game now. We did this last time. It's going to be a nice little quick game. Basically, I'll say a wrestler, and the next person will have to say a wrestler beginning with the name of the last name of the previous wrestler that I just said. So if I said Adam Cole, someone would have to say a wrestler beginning with the letter C, and then it just goes on and on and on. Basically, the forfeit is whoever fucks up, which normally is Nev. The forfeit is that he or she, even though there's only 3 boys in the car and in the game, will have to write a tweet about the other two being all nice and soppy. So that's cool. Okay, so I'm going to start, and I'm going to go with El Fantasma.
Papa Shango.
Scott Steiner.
Seth Rollins.
Roman Reigns.
Ricochet.
Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Paul Bear.
That's not a wrestler.
Well, it's just in the wrestling.
I think Math lost.
It's just.
He can't take it.
I would have probably said Paul Bearer. Are we doing wrestler or like?
Wrestlers. Paul Bear's not a wrestler.
Yeah. I'm glad they fucked that up because I was like, Batman.
Okay, round 2. I think Nev, you should start this time.
Okay. Roman Reigns.
Ricochet.
Randy
Ospreay.
That doesn't count.
You said no!
Fucking hell!
Owen Hart. Keep going.
This is literally what happened last time. Mate,
Owen
you lost. You lost.
Owen
You
Hart.
said Osprey.
You've got
He
H.
starts with Will.
Fucking O.
So, obviously we've just seen the show. You might have seen some of it as well. Overall, fantastic show. Car nearly crashed into me then. Overall, fantastic show. Not quite sure what my favourite match is. There was a few very good ones, and every time New Japan chucked the graphic up on the screen, it was like a yes moment, because every match in this event was a banger. There wasn't a bad match, especially like going into the event. Whereas before, in the previous New Japan matches, there was a couple of matches which are piss breaks. Let's call a spade a spade. Yeah, they were piss breaks. This one, there was no piss breaks.
I did get very excited. For me, it was just an incredible show. Like Tama Tonga, getting to see him in Gorillas of Destiny was absolutely amazing.
That entrance, by the way, outstanding.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Fan of the podcast, isn't he? El Fantasma.
El Fantasma. I mean, that's the third.
Fantasma!
It's the third time I've seen him live. Second time I've had a photo of him. This time he gave me the fucking flip, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, bastard. But he did stop for a photo, and I really appreciate that, even though he lost. So that's great. And I'm rocking the El Fantasma shirt right now, courtesy of WrestleCrate. And if you go to WrestleCrate and you fancy signing up, cheap plug, if you type in the code Omega Luke and check out, you get yourself a nice little gift. And that's definitely worth it, because I get some stuff out of it too.
Another quick mention before we cut this is that main event was
We witnessed
insane.
something great tonight.
It was magic.
We really did. We witnessed something great.
Not
like match quality wise.
Just, I think for me, like, you know, we know, like I drop it in there all the time. I've been to WrestleManias, like it's pretty fucking sick. But I was real starstruck seeing Okada walking out. Was pretty damn magical.
Yeah, not to mention we had some of the best seats, so
Yeah.
every entrance we were literally within touching distance of the
Yeah.
wrestlers, and if they lost they tend to be taken right past us, which was pretty cool as well. Shout out to Bronco Brendan White. I've been telling you guys about him for a long time now. He's part of the Rev Pro sort of training scheme now. He's had a few matches for them, and he was there tonight. He popped up right at the end to watch that match. We seen him, we spoke to him.
Anyone that's from London, if they know a quicker way to get out of your city, would be absolutely fantastic. 'Cause
Unbelievable.
It's
Hour and
taken
a half.
us an hour and a half to get out of city centre London. Alright, it's a Saturday night. It took us 7 hours to get here because of the football on Saturdays. So I think for progress in a couple of weeks, we will reevaluate our plans.
Yeah, thank you very much for sending all your questions in. Hope you enjoyed the vlog. Hope you enjoyed this video. Drop it a like if you could subscribe. I'm doing all this while watching where I'm driving, which is even scarier. And yeah, thank you guys for listening. Bye.